Welcome to Inside the Film Room presented by Echo Power. I'm Kristen Ergel. We have a great show ahead. We will recap the Govs game against Tennessee State and go goal line to goal line with a Gov. A little later on, we'll go one-on-one with a Gov student athlete and, of course, hear from head football coach Will Healy as we count down to kickoff against Southeast Missouri. A record sellout crowd of 12,201 packed Forterra Stadium. Govs jump out on top first. Kentel Williams rushes for 40 yards, the Tigers 15. Then Williams again for 15 yards and the touchdown. That was a 7-play, 88-yard drive. Later in the second, game tied at 7. The Gov defense comes up big, a 3-and-out, and the Gov offense makes them pay. Trey Nation and Jeremiah Oatsfall get to work. Kentel Williams finds the end zone for his second touchdown of the night. Govs up 14-7. Later in the second, 14-all on first down. Jeremiah Oatsfall finds DJ Montgomery for a 45-yard pass. Ahmad Tanner punches it in from 5 out. It only took them 2 plays to score, 21-14. Tigers respond, now game tied at 21 on 3rd and 9. How about this for a third down conversion? Oatsfall to Benico Hartley, one-handed catch. They say he was out at the 1. Jeremiah will take it from there. Touchdown. 4 plays, 78-yard drive, 28-21 Govs. The Tigers trying to make something happen before half. The Gov defense says no on that one. Austin Maliwota recovers the fumble, and Austin Peay takes a 7-point lead going into half. Third quarter we go. Jeremiah Oatsfall engineers a 10-play, 83-yard drive that was capped off by a 20-yard touchdown run. That took 4:09 off the clock. The Govs 35, Tigers 24. Tigers' ensuing drive. Nate Howard recovers a fumble, and the Gov offense takes full advantage. On first down, Oatsfall to DJ Montgomery, touchdown Governors, 42-24. A little over 8 to go in the ball game. Nate Howard sacks Demery Croft, and Pat Walker recovers the fumble. The defense would recover 5 on the night. The Gov offense capitalizes. Trey Nation won't be denied, 49-34. It's the most points scored against an OVC opponent since 1996. Coming up, we go goal line to goal line with a Gov. You'll meet offensive coordinator Joshua Ergel. This is Joshua Ergel, offensive coordinator. You ready to go goal line to goal line?
Let's go.
Okay, 4 weeks ago, you were handed the reins to the entire offense. Play calling duties. In just 4 games, you're averaging 42 points per game, set an OVC record for points in a game. What do you attribute that success to?
Well, I think you're a product of your environment. I think you're a product of those who are around you. I think that everything, our whole football program starts at the top with Coach Will Healy, and very humbled to have the opportunity. We didn't really have any other choice. We just accepted diversity. I think these young men have done a phenomenal job of really pulling together. They've done all the work. I really haven't. As an offensive staff, we've got a great offensive staff. We've got some guys who really pull together, and we know what we believe in. We know what's really, really important for this program to be successful and for our do our part on offense. We just kind of pulled together and allowed our guys to get the ball in space and try to put those playmakers there and be successful.
What do you want this offense to be known for?
Well, I think that the only goal of an offense is to score points. So you're really judged, and a lot of people get caught up in stats. The most important thing we've done is we've scored a lot of points, and that's what we got to continue to do. I want us to be known as a scoring machine. I think there's certain attributes that we really focus on that lead towards that. I think we want to be a physical up front team, a physical in the backfield. We want to block for our brothers on the perimeter, but we want to be explosive at the same time. I think we've shown that. We've been able to throw the ball over the top of defenses and been explosive in the run game and the pass game. We keep track of explosive plays each week and judge those by a certain yardage criteria based on run and pass, and we've been extremely explosive in 4 weeks.
Your offensive line is the top of the conference for fewest sacks allowed. What's your message to those young men?
Well, we're really blessed. When we came here 3 years ago, we had a core group of young men that had really bought in and really early on and worked extremely, extremely hard. We got a great group of young men up front, and I'm just blessed to be able to coach those guys. I mean, they're very, very talented young men, and so those guys they're awesome. I mean, they do all the work. Byron Glass does a great job of IDing protections and blitzes and kind of seeing with the defense and so much of the quarterback up front. And it's been able to keep pressure off the quarterback. I think we have athletic quarterbacks, and they help us up front by moving the pocket and getting loose and getting rid of the football. It's been a team, it's been an offensive effort on the sacks, but it's great to coach those guys up front.
You know, you're pretty intense on the sideline. If you ask some of the players after the game and post-game interviews, they say you always say the thing, match my energy. Where does that intensity come from?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, you get one shot of life, right? So you wake up in the morning, you have a smile on your face and a song in your heart, and you go about life. And in our football program, we attack everything with effort and enthusiasm, and we're going to have an unbelievable energy. And I just want them to match that. It's a game. The minute you start trying to make football more than just a game, you're going to lose focus on what this really is. And I want them to have a blast. But there's a certain way you cannot play a collision sport, a high sport at this high level in Division I athletics, and not have unbelievable passion and energy. And when we play passionate offensively, we score. Right? We get going and we get going fast, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun to watch those guys make plays. If that's lacking, we're not as good as an offense. We've got to have great passion, great intensity, great effort every week.
What do you hope these players learn from you playing on this field?
Well, I think for me personally, I think it's a personal thing. I want them to know who I am off the field before what they are on the field. Really, I want them to know that there's something bigger than just them. I want them to learn to play for one another and how important and what an unbelievable opportunity it is to have great teammates and to learn one another. And these guys come from so many different backgrounds, and yet they have so much in common. And just to give up what their desires and their dreams are for their brother. I think that's one of the greatest things that the game of football really teaches, in the bonds. You know, you go back to all of us coaches who played, and those are what you remember. You remember the memories, you remember the friendships, you remember relationships, and how you bonded together to do something great on Saturday afternoon. I mean, all of that correlates to football. I want them to know that first. And of course, my life's directed by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and you know, I think that just builds character within me that I would hope those guys carry on and cherish the rest of their lives more than Saturday afternoon.
Who inspires you?
That's a trick question right there, Bass, coming from you. But I've got two people that really inspire me on a daily basis. One's my little girl, Landry. She wakes up every day with that smile on her face and song in her heart, and she goes through great adversity, and she doesn't flinch. And she's been a great inspiration to me as a dad. And my wife's unbelievable. My wife handles that in stride, and she does a great job of pulling our family together. And you've got to be a special individual to be married to a coach. Because coaches are gone so much, and they work so hard, and they're pouring their lives into other people's children. And you've got to have somebody at home that pulls that all together. And then when you throw other circumstances and our own set of trials into it, I think you do an unbelievable job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We've gone goal line to goal line. Coming up, it's the Bojangles Player Spotlight. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's the Bojangles Player Spotlight. This is Pat Walker, linebacker. The defense had 5 turnovers last game. You had one of them. Describe that feeling of just recovering the football and coming up with it.
It's a great feeling. You know, I tried to pick it up and scoop it and score, but that didn't work. But it's great causing a momentum for the team and just having a positive effect on the game.
That's something that Coach Cooper obviously keys in on in practice, I'm sure.
Yes, for sure. Like, they're always preaching, strip the football, run to the ball. My coach, he's always saying, at least punch the ball out. And Coach, he's always saying, let's win the turnover battle. And it's constant every week.
And it's working, absolutely. Now, you transferred here from East Central Community College. That's right, in Mississippi. What stood out about Austin Peay that made you want to be a part of this program?
Well, my second year of junior college, I got injured, so teams stopped looking at me. You know, Austin Peay, they still gave me a chance. And when I got here, I saw the culture. Like, they were losing, but Coach Healy, I saw he was trying to make a change, and he wanted me to be a part of that change. So I was like, hey, this is probably the place for me. And I talked to my mom about it, and I thought it was the right place for me, and sure enough, it is.
You've built a camaraderie with your fellow teammates, and it's been a short amount of time.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, it's been kind of tough as far as from an injury perspective for you. You were injured there and then kind of fighting through an injury last season, right?
Yes, ma'am. In junior college, I got hurt and I kind of got out of shape. So when I first got here, we was doing conditioning and time was really hard, and I stuck to it. And after that, I kind of got in shape. We got to next year, we got in fall camp. I injured my ankle again, and then that was tough. And then we got to this point now. I'm just having fun and just sticking with it.
You are, but you're also putting a lot of work into it. Some of our staff noticed on the way back from the Jacksonville State game, you could have been chilling, you could have been sleeping. Where were you?
I was actually watching film with Coach Goodwin in the front seat. just trying to look at some corrections and things we could fix and special teams, stuff like that.
Do you like watching film, or is it part of just the discipline of I want to get better?
I actually love watching film. I'm constantly on my phone or upstairs watching film, trying to see what I can do better or what can I keep from the offensive lineman or the running backs, just little small things, stuff like that.
Where does that come from? Just
I have to say my background, my high school coach, he always taught, look at the small things. My mom always just pay attention to little small details, and at Austin Peay, they preach that here also.
what kind of influence do you want to have on this team?
I just want to stay positive, just be a leader. I like to speak about my actions. I'm not a guy that talks a lot, but just being consistent and doing the right things at all times.
I know we talked earlier before that your family is a big support system for you, and you want to set the precedent for your younger siblings.
For sure.
I mean, they make a lot of sacrifices to be here, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're at every game. I always see my little brother. Actually, this past weekend, my little brother somehow got inside the locker room. He's in there dancing, and all the guys are cheering him on, and stuff like that. That gets me excited. That makes me want to play, so I play for them guys.
What will we be seeing you do after football?
After football, I would like to coach high school football. I mainly would like to go back home, but anywhere if I get the opportunity, I'll take it.
And you'll be watching a lot of film then, sure.
For sure, definitely.
Thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming up, we talk to Coach Will Healy as we count down to kickoff against SEMO. Welcome back, Coach Will Healy. The offense scored the most points against an OVC opponent since 1996. The defense forced 5 turnovers. What stood out on film?
Well, I thought the turnover battle was huge. We went from -1 on the year in turnover margin to +4 in one game. And really, the stop on 4th down is another turnover for us. So I thought we took care of the ball really well. We created 6 change of possession turnovers. I thought we played really hard. We did some really good things. I thought we were able to match and surpass their intensity and came out with a huge win in front of an unbelievable crowd. And really special night. Great to be back on the W side of the column. Great to get a first OVC win, and now it makes that this game this week that much bigger.
You mentioned it after the game as well as now. What does it mean to your team to look around and see standing room only in Forterra Stadium?
Well, I still would go to my grave saying this is the only place that would ever happen. You have the nation's longest losing streak and you break an attendance record, and then you come back home 0-2 in conference play with tremendous expectations, and you sell the place out and probably have to turn another 2,000 away. This is a special place. It's a special community that is so excited about having some resemblance of success that they show up and they cheer on our kids, and it made a huge difference on Saturday. I thought TSU brought a great crowd as well. The environment here on Saturday was as good as any I've been a part of, and it's pretty cool to say we were able to do it at home.
What will be your message this week to the team as you try to build off Saturday?
Well, this is kind of the last of the grind weeks. You got an off week next week, so we need to put everything we have into being well prepared and having a great week of practice this week. We'll give them some time off next week and get away from it a little bit. So, it's pedal to the metal. It's a great football team on the road in a difficult place to play. A team who's scoring a lot of points and has got a really difficult defensive scheme and some really talented players to go against. So it'll be a really tough game. The great part about it for us is we won one, so now this game becomes a little bit more important. It becomes more important to them, it becomes more important to us, it becomes more important from a national perspective. But it's a big week, and we need to be well prepared to go to war on Saturday.
You go on the road to Southeast Missouri. They are coming off a 70-38 victory over Tennessee Tech. What can you expect from the Red Hawks?
Fast, physical, well coached, tough place to play. It's their homecoming, so it should be a good crowd. A really good football team. I think they're very talented, and we'll have to play extremely well to have a shot. So I hope our kids take care of what we can control in this building this week. I hope we have a great Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday practice, and we need to go up there and play our tails off to have a chance to win.
What's going to be key in picking up that second straight conference victory?
Well, I think and I hadn't got a chance to watch them much offensively, but obviously what they're doing right now, they're scoring a bunch of points. So we got to be able to slow down their offense. I think our offense, we got to make sure we're putting our guys in positions where they understand schematically what we're trying to do, and we give our playmakers on the outside an opportunity to be successful. So, for me, it's preparation. It's doing more than you did last week, and it's making sure that we're, blocking, tackling, and winning the turnover battle. One of the things that's concerning to me right now is our time of possession. We're around 26 minutes. We need to improve on that, because that's how I think that, the turnover battle plus the formula for time of possession, to me, is the formula for success. We were fortunate enough to have some pretty big one-strike touchdowns on Saturday, so that plays into it a little bit. But we got to manage the clock, make sure we win the time of possession, and win the physicality battle. It'll be a physical football game.
Best of luck, Coach. Kickoff is Saturday at 1 o'clock in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. For those of you who can't make it, you can watch that on ESPN+. Then head over to our social media sites, and we'll have post-game with Coach Will Healy. Thank you so much for watching Inside the Film Room with Coach Will Healy. I'm Kristen Ergel. We'll see you next time.